Welcome to another installment of the Fragments Silicon Reviews. 4 reviews up this week. You will note the use of trailer footage here. Expect that extensively this week because Petty Fan's eye is still ulcerated.
Borked, whatever. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I use the proper terminology here.
Valid.
At any rate, first game up this week is Tiny Witch, in which you play, well, as a tiny witch, managing a minion store where demanding clientele are always at your door. As a little witch, mix the right resources to create minions so that your dungeon master clients will walk away happy. So I'm not sure how well it's conveyed with the footage. Now, this is a problem when you can't have Petty Fan actually play the game. But to describe it in X meets Y terms, it's Recettear and Item Shop's Tale meets Diner Dash.
In a good way?
I'm like...
I can see those two coming together and the ending is either decent or, oh god,
yeah,
what
I was
have
gonna
you
say,
done?
it looked like that to me.
Like, I wanted this to work, but...
Oof.
How do I put this? The controls were an issue in both small ways that really ballooned up quickly. Preeminent example is how you deal with the collecting of items or ingredients. And it's one of those things that doesn't seem like much when I will initially describe it, but in the heat of the gameplay, it makes a lot more.
Yeah, that kind of game always gets rushy.
Exactly.
The Diner Dash kind, I mean.
Yeah, and this game gets like that pretty quickly. A lot quicker than you'd expect. Like, even, played about 90 minutes of this before I had my fill, so to speak. And, even those, it's pretty demanding. This game doesn't ease you in like you think it would. I mean, you get some easing in, but it will ramp up quite fast. And anyway, to get to the core problem here, you have to use a button to pass along items. Now, you might be asking, what's the big problem here? It's not that responsive.
So you, try to pick something up and think you picked it up, but you didn't?
My big problem was the other way around. Is putting down an item and it didn't register. That happened to me a lot. It's one of those things where, yeah, this should have been assigned to a direction. Because it's a bit fiddly with how you're if you're in the right spot at the right moment kind of deal. Like I said, that doesn't seem like a big problem, except this game is all about prioritization and time management. You got to figure out which customers to serve, which ingredients to hand out. Because the initial ghost creature that just like takes 2 of the blue cubes, what you prepared into the pots, and then you bring it to the table. You combine, but like the I'm trying to think. The mummies, were they mummies? And the skeletons, they required an additional, an ingredient that required an additional upgrade. Only one there. I suspect that 2 would be along at some point. But in order to prepare those, you have to do an extra step. Like, I think you're seeing where the time accumulation can go here. And that's not even getting into the hazards. Because very quickly, this game will introduce hazards, like a leaky roof, which will drop water onto the ground. And you either hit it and you slow down, or you go and grab a broom and you sweep it all up, which is not intuitive in the least. Or the customers will start throwing like wrenches at you that will stun you as they get impatient. Also, there's a ticking meter with the customers with their patience meter, how long they're willing to wait.
As is tradition.
Yeah, that plays into tipping, because the quicker you serve a guest, the more they will tip. And if you see a shiny guest, that means they're rich. So there's an extra level of prioritization. So you can already see how this is pretty intricately layered. And I'm willing to bet, there was more to be had past where I played. But like I said, this game gets intense quickly. And you're not going to be able to serve all customers. It's just not a thing that's going to happen. So you got to pick and choose. The goal is to get an amount of money through the day and the night. So there are 2 shifts. So if you don't get it during the day, you can get it. You can get the goal during the night shift. And I'd say the other big issue I had was just the rather stiff nature of the controls. This game is very digital. That is to say, like, very rigid inputs along cardinal directions. Thankfully, you don't have to press the direction down like I initially thought you did. But it's still a game where I felt like I was fighting the controls just the whole way through. And given the rushing that you do in this game, it was shockingly unpleasant to play. Maybe that was a me thing, but yeah. So I suppose that's about what I got in terms of summation here. So in terms of price,
I was going to ask, is this kind of an arcadey title, or like do you get upgrades throughout each levels that you can progress towards?
Well, it's both. Yeah, it's a very arcadey title, but you will get upgrades through the rest periods. It's not just every day, but like I think every half day, if you like. Though I wouldn't recommend spending money during the day, when you're still working towards a goal. I think I did that, but and yeah, you unlock a new thing, and you're also you're also incentivized to buy extra like pots in order to prepare more ingredients and things of that nature. Decorations and pets in order to improve the moods of the customer, what have you. Like, in terms of pricing, so the game clocks in at $9.99. Regular price. It's got a digital art book and original soundtrack for $4.99 each on Steam, with the Tiny Witch support package. Combining all the items here for $16.57. But the DLC here is fairly frivolous. In terms of pricing, I think $10 works out if you like this kind of game. Like I said, I wasn't that high on it, but I think in terms of like core mechanics, it all works rather decently. Just I don't think it came together as well as the developers hoped it would. And just that button prompt thing grinds my gears. Just because I end up wasting more time because it's like hit the button, doesn't register, got to go back, hit the button because you're always you got it like as a list in your head. You got to do X, then Y, then Z. But if something doesn't work out smoothly, it kind of gums up the works. Very assembly line in its construction when you think about it. Right then. So any other questions, comments, or concerns over Tiny Witch?
I think I'm good.
I'm good.
Right. So yeah, that'll about do it for this game. Be sure to tune in after the break, as Petty Fan will be reviewing Idle Zoo Park.